In other news, journalist and publisher of Cross River Watch, Agba Jalingo, has condemned the verbal attack on his colleague by a former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani-Kayode. During a press briefing in Calabar, Fani-Kayode was asked who was funding his recent tour to inspect projects in South and Southeast states, but the ex-minister lashed out at the journalist, calling him unprintable names. While reacting to this on TV 360 Nigeria's flagship program, Digi360, Jalingo said Fani-Kayode's outburst was completely out of place.
Journalism for me is the ability to write what others cannot write. A veteran once told us that before, that every other thing is PR. It is just those questions that the politicians don't want you to ask. Those questions that they call stupid. Until you rise to the level where you can ask them those questions. For me, that is when you become a journalist. If you are not able to ask those stupid questions, yes, it is our duty to ask stupid questions. If you like, call them stupid. Those questions are questions that deserve answers. Who is bankrolling you? Who is bankrolling you? Nobody is bankrolling me. It is me, myself. It's as simple as that. Unless you have something that you are hiding. So when colleagues come out to say stupid questions, to say what Charles did was this and that, I look at it again, I said the only problem rather that I had with Charles on that day was he also stood up and was saying, I'm sorry,
I'm
sir.
sorry, yes.
I'm sorry, sir. That was the only problem. Because I know that if I were in that venue, I sincerely will confess to Nigerians that I would not have tolerated that nonsense.
On his part, chairman of the NUJ FCT chapter, Emmanuel Gbeche, said the union must up its game and do more to defend the interests of journalists in the country.
Mr. Fani-Kayode is not the national chairman of the PDP, is not an executive member of the PDP, is not a board of trustee member of the PDP as far as I know. And I wonder what utilitarian value he's bringing to bear to the state governors. You understand? That is why I am overly disappointed with the PDP governors that he's been visiting. One would have imagined that
You're just
the Bible State governor would have asked him to hold his peace. One would have imagined that because tempers are flared up and everybody was tense, that that visit, for whatever value it adds to those who think it adds any value at all, should have waited. But by and large, we know that we are operating in a very difficult climate, in a state that is fragile. We have tried as much as possible to balance how we relate with government. Sometimes we fall short, the union falls short on the expectations of the public. At other times, it tries to equip the occasion. So we must continue to evolve gradually, and we ask that people that are established should also provide mentorship to journalists that are coming up